I'm Nathan.
And I'm Bobby.
And get ready for some cupcakes because this could be a podcast. I'm not saying she's the best basketball player that's ever lived.
Mm-hmm.
But no, when I open up my Facebook page and literally 37 people like retweeted or reposted like the most watched thing on ESPN ever, I'm like, oh, okay. The first time it's like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Second time it's like, oh, okay. Like fourth time I'm like, fifth, sixth. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah.
I get it, guys.
I'm a bit done with it.
12.5 million people.
Yeah.
12.8 million people.
Okay.
More than every regular season CFB bowl game, except for bowl games.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
It's more than an entire season of CSI.
Well, more than like any MLB game, right?
Well, yeah, but that's so spread out. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
That was World Series, NBA Finals. Like, it was a lot of things.
yeah, I
that's-
guess. Yeah.
impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, here's the one thing that she's done is she's gotten people that have never cared about sports. And then we're talking about Caitlin Clark here, Iowa's maestro from beyond the arc who never takes a bad shot.
Hold
whatsoever.
on. Nobody says that, right?
No, I don't know.
Okay, God,
Cole can look up nicknames, but
She takes a lot of terrible shots.
Yeah.
so many just pull up long range jump shots that just only create transition points for the other team, by the way. That's the only thing, unless they get the long rebound, but
Yeah.
whatever. That's just inside basketball. No, they like, so I recently went to my my in-laws Easter. And every year that I go to any kind of family any kind of family event, not a sporting event,
Yeah.
but Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, and every time, like, a sporting event is always this nice thing that you can just have on, and you can have just general conversations about
Yeah.
what is on the television.
Third and long on this one, huh?
Exactly. Well, I don't know. They shouldn't have dumped it down there.
It's that weather conversation.
Yeah.
It's a little bit, but it's a little more entertaining than a weather conversation. But it's definitely in the realm of a weather conversation.
Weather needs more defense. By the way.
Well, there's nothing
That'd
happening
be
outside.
it's like it's all offense.
Yeah. If there's nothing happening outside, there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
Can you believe how nice it is? Yeah. All right.
What do people in San Diego talk about? Jesus.
Oh, nothing. No, surfing. The
Surfing?
tides.
The tides?
They talk about the tides. Yeah. So anyway, like this, for my wife and I have been married, and we've been together for over 10 years, so I've gone to a lot of these events.
Mm-hmm.
And her sister-in-law and her brother-in-law, okay, every time that we go over, do not understand why the fuck we are watching a sporting event. Like, they don't understand. They don't like the sport. They don't like sports in general until this past Saturday.
Okay.
And then we show up and it's, hey, can we put on the Hawkeye game? Can we put on the Hawkeye game? And I made the joke to my brother-in-law because he was like, yeah, I'm really excited about this Hawkeye game. And the men's team was in the NIT. What is the NIT?
No,
even stand
weren't they
for?
out at that point?
National Invitational
Tournament?
Yeah.
Tournament. Yeah, they were out. They were out.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, it's fine that they were out. But I made the joke of like, oh, yeah, you want to watch the NIT? And it was just like a 747 just zooming over his head. He's like, what is that? It's the men's consolation tournament. Never mind. I know what you're talking about. I'm aware that the women's team is still in it. But they are both fully involved into watching the Iowa Hawkeyes women team. Caitlin Clark specifically. She is clearly, the propaganda has worked. The marketing technique has worked to get people that don't care about sports to care about women's college basketball. That is clearly what's happening. For now. We'll see. It'll be very interesting to see how it translates.
It was featured on NBA Today several times. They're about to go into the playoffs and couldn't stop talking. And then Inside Edition, which...
Well, that's when you know you're huge.
That's when you know you're huge. When
It's either
Inside
that or
Edition.
you're a dog that got trapped in an elevator or whatever horseshit.
Yeah. But it's like, because we were watching NBA Live for whatever reason. It's a thing that's on at a bar.
Sad existence.
And you're there. But they're showing like, oh, Jason Sudeikis was in the crowd.
Yeah.
And he's doing the "you can't see me" John Cena thing. It's like, Jason Sudeikis is from Oklahoma. He has no ties to Iowa whatsoever.
Yeah.
So you're saying Mick Foley can't just, be a Caitlin Clark fan?
No, I mean, like
Is Mick Foley is a Kalen Clark, right? He was there, right?
He designed a T-shirt and has come to several games. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, it's weird. I guess I don't know.
there's no reason. Like if again, Ashton Kutcher or Tom Arnold or name whatever,
Elijah Wood.
Elijah Wood,
Ron
If
Livingston.
Ron Livingston wants to go to a game. Absolutely. We welcome you with open arms.
Yeah.
Jason Sudeikis says, What are you doing? What are you doing
I
in
don't-
Brooklyn watching the women's game without trying just to leap onto the media train that's following?
Wait, Ron Livingston's from Cedar Rapids?
Yeah. Isn't
Holy,
that something?
holy crap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cedar Rapids can produce an actor.
Oh, yeah.
Or two,
Yeah.
depending on what you think about Elijah Wood.
Yeah. And that one guy who's in Down Periscope and
Not Kelsey Grammer.
whatever his name is.
Ron Livingston's the best actor to come from Cedar Rapids. We all know that.
I agree. No, there's another guy from Marshalltown who's been in a million fucking things.
Yeah.
He was in Down Periscope and
The guitar player from The Killers is from Pella, Iowa.
no shit.
Yeah.
Home of the Dutch.
That was going to be a name of the Killers album, and they're
Home of
like,
the Dutch?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's a little too on
There's
the nose.
something going on here. I don't
was-
like this.
Brandon Flowers' Mormon beliefs that really conflicted.
The Mormons and the Dutch, they go back
Mm-hmm.
quite a ways. A lot of hatred between the two of those
Exactly.
institutions.
The pastry wars of 1974.
Oh, there's no fucking way a Mormon would make a good pastry. There's no way.
Well, that's what the war was about.
They're trying to pass. Mormons are passing off saltines as a fantastic pastry, and the Dutch are like, "Listen, we've been sent back. Try not to get in the middle of your holy war and everything, but this is a bridge too far. You
Yeah.
need to back the fuck up."
And we know what we're talking about
We
with
know-
bridges because we're Dutch.
We're Dutch, you fucks. Now get over here and
Toby Huss is from
is that the dude's name?
from Pete and Pete.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, Pete and Pete. Yeah, yeah.
Halt
Toby,
to Catch Fire, which is a
the Halt and
fantastic
Catch-
show.
That
if
was
you've
a
not
good
seen it.
program.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toby Huss. That's that guy's name. Yeah, he's from Marshalltown, Iowa.
Well, let's not forget Johnny Carson is also from Iowa.
was-
John Wayne is.
Both of them were born
in
in
Iowa.
Iowa. John Wayne wanted nothing to do with Winterset, Iowa whatsoever. Johnny Carson apparently would stop back every so often because his parents or his grandparents were buried there.
We have a rich history.
He's
of
from Corning. He was
celebrities.
born in Corning, Iowa.
And then Ben Foster went to that random school we
He
talked
did,
about.
yeah.
Ben Foster. Oh,
He went
The
to
Maharashi?
the Maharashi
Yeah.
school
down
Yes.
in where's that at? Ottumwa, right? I think the Maharashi Institute's
No.
in Ottumwa, or
It's the Maharashi school. Like we can. That's for Cole to figure out.
yeah, I want to say Ottumwa, but anyway.
We have a rich tapestry
Yeah.
of famous people that immediately wanted to get the fuck out of Iowa, and it's just
Right.
interesting because here's the other thing. I'll reluctantly take it back to Caitlin Clark. Is that Iowa?
Stop
can,
talking about her.
Iowa can bandwagon with the best of them. Like without being really living in other I've lived in other states. When we were in Colorado, the Colorado football team was basically non-existent. The sports teams, none of that was really a high priority. So, but Iowa, we don't have a professional sports team.
No.
So the
Major.
Hawkeyes, yeah.
Professional sports team.
But the Hawkeyes and the Cyclones, the Iowa State Cyclones, and to an extent the University of Northern Iowa Panthers,
Yes.
become the de facto team that everyone
Yes,
roots
yeah.
for. And there's certain stretches that the Panthers have had, the UNI Panthers have had, with
done
going
well.
far in March Madness. Iowa State, obviously, with their connections to Brock Purdy, being excited for the Super Bowl, George Kittle being going to Iowa and stuff like that. They attach on to different things. So all of a sudden, people that never gave a shit about the San Francisco 49ers are wearing a jersey and stuff like
Yeah,
that. They can latch on because there's really nothing else
Yeah,
to
what
latch
was
on
he going to
to.
do? You going to root for the Bears?
Correct.
You going to root for the Vikings?
Yeah. Well, we live in a weird area,
Yeah.
specifically
We
our
are-
area,
yeah.
where we are the tri-states, quote unquote.
Yes, quote unquote.
And we have a collection of Vikings, Packers, and Bears fans, and some sprinkling of Chiefs fans, which have
Yes,
happened
yeah.
because again we like the bandwagon, and
Yeah.
Kansas City is about 5 hours away.
5 hours away, so not too far. Really.
But the ability for people to latch on to something, and my problem with them latching on to it is because they're only doing it because it seems countercultural to them. Like my sister-in-law is doing it because she feels that it's a feminist thing. Like
Yes.
she is supporting that.
Your brother-in-law not
My
so much?
brother-in-law, he brought up the point of like, well, it's just ridiculous that like the top woman in the WNBA is only getting like $250,000 a year.
No, that sounds
to play.
about
And it's
right.
like, no, that sounds about right. Yeah, because the WNBA in general is very young.
Yes.
And you need
It's not as well established whatsoever compared to the MLB, NHL, NBA, NFL. It's impossible.
Yeah, not in that order. Because
Yeah.
the NHL also like struggles. Like the top. Cole? Can you look up the top NHL contract? Because it's hilarious.
I
They're
bet that's
they're
really
like
low.
15 years for $75 million, and you're
Yeah.
like, okay. Both those numbers seem large, but also not in comparison to like Kirk Cousins' 4-year, $150 million guarantee.
Yeah.
That could be $300 million.
Also, that's insane
Of course.
for Kirk Cousins.
Of course. But you need a celebrity.
About 12.5 per year is the
$12.5 million.
highest paid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, hey, that's because the NHL out of the big four are clearly the fourth.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. Hey, what's the like official like rankings? I guess as far as value, like net worth of all 4 major sports leagues, and what's the breakdown of that? I'd be curious about that.
I'll go. Well, it's obviously NFL's
Well,
number
obviously,
one.
NFL.
I think baseball's still number 2.
Is it now?
Yeah, but that's where you could deviate. You could say the NBA, but
I guess how many
NBA and then
teams
NHL.
are in? How many teams are in the MLB?
32.
There's 32 in.
Mm-hmm.
There's 32 in baseball and the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. How many in the NBA?
I have no idea. Not off the top of my head.
Okay,
I think
there's
30 maybe.
There's the Mavericks. There's the Pacers.
We'll just
There's
name
the
'em all.
Pistons.
And that's Knicks.
Celtics.
Yeah.
Wizards.
I love how you say Celtics with such questioning. Like, are the Celtics a thing?
Yeah.
No, we know the Connecticut Sun is a WNBA team. The Minnesota Lynx.
I'm only getting totals for teams, but the Dallas Cowboys are worth $9 billion.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's a stretch to say the NFL is a number
No,
one.
yeah, I know.
as
I
far
was
as
just kind of
money
curious with the kind of like
And
full
pro
breakdown. list.
soccer's up there too, like
Oh.
European soccer.
making. Yeah, but that's not big four in America, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
No one
Let's-
gives a shit about Man U here. All right,
Exactly.
dude. Fuck them and
Messier's
the
in
Arsenal.
Miami and no one can give a shit, you know?
Well, they like sold out the first couple of games, right?
They did. I thought about
The
ironic.
most valuable hockey team is the New York Rangers at $2.2 billion.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the least expense or least valuable NFL team, and how much money can I pool together?
I'm gonna say
It's a two-parter.
Oh God, that's a good question.
Browns,
No. Maybe the Panthers. Maybe the Carolina Panthers.
Panthers, Jacksonville,
Jacksonville might be up there. That might be a
Jacksonville,
good
because
call.
that's a shit.
You got an answer?
It's in my favorite state outside of Iowa.
Like I know Cole's second favorite state.
Well,
I
there's
say
no,
it all the time.
there's no Pro Bowl.
Ohio. The Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes,
The
It's the
Bengals. How much are
Cincinnati.
the Bengals worth?
$3.5 billion.
Okay.
So it's still
So the-
higher than the highest,
highest
NHL team.
NHL team is 2.2. The least valuable NFL team is at 3. What?
That's really surprising. That's the
That's-
Bengals. I mean, they have star players. They were in the Super Bowl like 2-3 years ago.
But Cincinnati sucks.
But not the team though. The team doesn't.
But Cincinnati.
Look, I lived in Jacksonville. Jacksonville sucks. Like, I love
I
it.
was going to guess the Buffalo Bills.
Well, I mean, you get the Bills Mafia. There's some shady underhanded dealings going on. That team's worth a lot more, quote unquote.
Quote unquote, for the insurance money. They've got
Yeah.
4 beat up Ford Rangers that are both all worth like 1.7 million apiece.
I tell you, there's no better stadium that when they get hit with a snowstorm, the entire city of Buffalo shows up to
Contractually
shovel. You try to do
obligated.
that. You try to do that in Cleveland or Cincinnati.
Fuck off!
We're not doing that.
Yeah.
But everyone in Buffalo shows up. We're gonna shovel. Nope, we're shoveling,
Yeah.
which is beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
well,
beautiful.
It's nice. It's a nice gesture.
Oh yeah,
But no.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough.
They ain't doing that in no Cincinnati. Come on now.
I don't know. There's
Yeah.
very few places that also don't have a roof nowadays where
Especially with all the lake effect snow. That's bad news, Bears. It really is. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I can't own an NFL team. I
No,
guess.
you can't. Sorry.
Can I get a USFL team?
UFL. Why?
I'm sorry. Hey, listen, they just changed the name in the past 8 months, so don't come at me with that.
Well, you're not saying an XFL team. You're saying USFL.
Yeah.
Like one was superior. And clearly, the XFL was.
Was
superior.
it though?
Oh yeah, clearly.
Was it? I have no idea.
Oh no, I don't know. Again, no interest.
I watched, I think.
I think this is another thing too. Hold on. This
Yeah.
is this because here's a valid point. It sounds like I'm shitting on women's college basketball, and I kind of am.
Yeah.
But also, I realized throughout this entire thing because I like to self-reflect and look at myself.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you do it in front of a mirror?
I do it in front of a mirror
Okay.
every night, and I say, "You look at me. Look at me right."
You've been
in the eyes.
shitting on women's basketball too much,
Okay?
buddy.
And where is this coming from? Okay. And it's because I realized like my sports life is filled. I have enough sports in my life
Yeah.
that I can go like Cole was giving me shit because I had made some comment about Big East Big 12 basketball being really physical. And you laughed because I really, to my defense, I'd only watched one Big 12 basketball game. All right. But that's all they kept talking about. It was how physical and how, crazy the Big 12 basketball can be as far as fouls go. But I don't have time over the fall to watch all the NFL that I want to watch and baseball as it goes, and then also have time, to pepper in and watch a bunch of college basketball. I like consolidate my college basketball into March Madness because that's just how it organically plays out. I don't have a void of like, oh my God, wow, it's late February. I guess it's time to get into mid-season NHL. There's just not a void.
Sure. No, I just don't care.
Yeah. And that's fine.
No, the only reason I care right now is because I'm number one in the office pool for the women's side. And that is by blind luck, because if I followed your, recommendations, I would not be doing well. Just because
in the
that's
women's
what
side, I have no opinion on the women's
listen,
side.
I followed your advice about Arizona and Tennessee. You led me astray.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm stuck. I'm out. And I feel bad because I lost $5.
I apologize.
And that hurts me quite a bit.
Was I going to get $5 if you won?
No.
Okay, so I'm full blame, no reward if you do win.
Yes. Okay. That's our relationship, and that's just how it is. And if you don't like it, hit the road, Jack. The door's out that way.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way.
Oh no, this is exciting.
Yeah, it's always fun.
No,
to have skin in the
I
game.
generally
It's all-
don't. I generally don't care. Like, I've been forced to fill out a women's side bracket since high school. So
Why?
I don't know, because my social studies teacher, who like, hey guys, let's fill out our NCAA brackets. Also, here's the women's bracket. It's just like, what
UConn.
am I gonna do with this? I have no idea whatsoever.
Well, that goes into the whole point of like everyone like, oh, my women's bracket's doing really well. It's like, well, yeah, because they're up until like the last, I don't know, 5 years, maybe. I might be being generous with that. Like, it's been the same fucking teams there every damn time.
Yeah. And there hasn't been, dare I say, a breakout star. And that's that is the thing about Caitlin Clark.
This
I'm sorry,
is
I'm
what
bringing-
I go to. though.
because no, she is a generational talent. That's why it might be getting amped up a little bit more this time around, as compared to like LeBron.
Okay, well,
LeBron's high school games,
Cole, I'm gonna need your
getting
backing.
jerked off on early days of Twitter.
Okay, I'm gonna need your focus. on this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying.
I will. Well, I'll preface it by
yeah.
saying showing high school basketball games on ESPN is no good can come of this. Okay,
Right.
It's horrible. It's overhyping players. LeBron is a very good basketball player.
Yes.
They nailed it. Okay,
Yeah.
There's a number of other basketball players that were hyped from high school that did not live up to the hype. So kudos to LeBron for living up to the hype and doing all that. Okay.
Okay.
Now, so she broke the scoring record from a long distance three.
Yes.
Okay. So like since they put that little emblem, they put an emblem on the court where she shot it. Players have been going up to that emblem and trying to take that shot and trying to make that shot, men and women, and they can't do it with a normal shooting motion. They can't do it with a normal
False.
shooting motion.
False.
They have to shoot it like they're doing a half court shot, and it's like, no. That's wrong. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's Steph Curry's been doing this for 10
Jordan
15 years.
Bohannon was doing it for years before
Yeah.
she ever got
Yeah.
there.
Exactly. It's not like a crazy. She didn't do it on the other side of half court, and then that's
Yeah.
how she got it.
Yeah.
No, she took a long range 3-pointer, which for the women's game is a long range
Yeah.
3-pointer. For the men's game, it's become to the point where the NBA is considering a 4-point line because people are taking such deep threes. This is not new, and people are treating it as it's this brand new thing.
And that's what she's basically made herself into, the Steph Curry of women's basketball, where
Yeah.
she's taking these shots, which honestly are not high percentage shots. She should not be taking as many of them as she does.
Exactly.
And like with the men's side of that, Jordan Bohannon did it for years and years, and it used to piss me off so bad.
Because all it does is lead to transition points. Like that's you don't have the time to get everything set, so you just come up, and there's so many times where she'll just come up, dribbling the ball up, and then just take this shot, and then it's no time's taken off the clock. It's immediate transition points. If
If they make it, it's awesome. It looks like a very difficult shot, but it's like if you're looking at analytics of basketball, it's kind of a poor shot choice for sure.
Exactly.
She's putting up Kobe number of shots, and
exactly.
shooting 30 to 40% from the field.
There's something about Cole rattling off analytics that is somewhat mesmerizing.
I
Quite
know.
frankly.
I know basketball.
He knows his Iowa Hawkeyes college basketball. Okay.
I know the NBA. I know basketball in general. That's
That's why I had you on my backup here.
Favorite
okay?
NBA team go?
He doesn't have one.
I don't like the NBA.
Well,
I follow the sport though. Like
and you don't have a favorite team out of that?
I liked Vince Carter and the Raptors growing up. That was my team back in the day. But
Yeah, that's a shitty name. Like, by the way, the Toronto Raptors. I don't like that at all. Also, I hate their color scheme as well.
And then I kind of was a little bit of a whore. I followed Vince Carter, so I was a Nets fan for a while. And
Oh, that's gross.
What? Vince Carter's awesome. He's getting elected into the Hall of Fame, I saw today.
as you should.
Yeah, he should. Vinsanity should be. That's what his nickname was Vinsanity.
It was. I tried to get into teams. I tried to become a Golden State fan, and then they started to get good, and then they signed Kevin Durant. I'm like, okay, nope, done with that.
You got a problem with Kevin Durant?
It's just the rich got too rich, and I didn't like the team anymore.
Okay.
I like Steph Curry a lot, though.
You like Steph Curry? Okay.
Sure, dude.
All right. That's great NBA talk. I'm glad that I asked that question.
Well, no, because I agree with Cole. Like, I've tried to get into NBA. I've tried to get into NBA teams. I mean,
You've
obviously-
actively tried to get into NBA?
Yeah, like I've been in an NBA fantasy league. I mean, that's about as actively trying to root for and pay attention to the totality of the sport. You know, like I love to do fantasy baseball. I love to do fantasy football and everything. But every year, and as you get older, you know, it's like, oh my God, I don't know who any of these players are. And it's a really good way. You know, I just did a bunch of fantasy baseball drafts, and it's a good way to be like, I have no idea who this fucking person is because I didn't watch any spring training baseball or listen to any podcasts, you know, to try to do it. If
Get
I were to
ramped
do
up.
an NBA fantasy team, I would just be going off solely names that I know.
Yeah.
Like, I would try to do the statistical analytics of it all and try to figure it all out. But
Sure.
I'm like, I don't know if this is the dude that comes off the bench or if this is like the fourth best player in basketball, you know? And a large part because the sport itself, NBA basketball, is a very boring sport to watch. You want to talk about
Yeah.
baseball being boring. Like,
Yes.
the first 3.5 quarters of any given game on any given night is basically
Pointless.
thrown out and worthless.
Yeah. It's
By the time
pointless.
you get to the end. And
No.
you know, I
That,
love to sports bet, and I can't bet on that because there's just
I
no.
can't get off on this.
Yeah, there's no way I can consistently do this and then watch the games. But
Yeah.
that's why I like college basketball because they play defense. You know, there's
Yeah, defense is involved.
yeah.
Like, that's an important part of the game. And they don't do that in the NBA
At
at
all.
all.
No.
At all.
And that's where going back to the women's game though too. It's like the disbursement of talent is so concentrated into there are maybe 16 to 20 like legitimately good teams within the whole spectrum of college women's college basketball.
Okay.
So the good teams are great, and that used to be like 2. There used to be like everyone that was good at basketball would go to like UConn or Tennessee, and that was it.
And that was it.
You know, and then they just again run train. on the entire. Why do you have a problem with that,
Bobby?
Okay.
We can't talk about college co-eds and
Why?
say run train.
Why?
You can't do that.
That's what happens. Train runs right through. Okay.
Because of the implication.
But so now it's dispersed a little bit more throughout like 20 teams.
Okay.
But the bad teams are still really fucking bad.
Yeah.
You know, Rice and BYU or, you know, whatever little school is still horrible. Although they have a team,
Yeah.
they're going to get the shit kicked out of them. And it's going to be 100-40. You know, be like, oh my God, is she amazing? It's like, yeah, she just kicked the crap out of like people that are not nearly as talented and don't have the bench. Like the one good player.
A very good D3 team.
Yeah. Maybe, you know, like I think the disparity of talent is goes much farther than that. But anyway, we are in full Caitlin mania. We will see how it plays out. I think it'll be interesting to see if they lose, if they don't win a national championship, how long this lasts.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna drop off a fucking cliff. Like the championship is. I don't.
You think either way, if they win or don't?
I would say if they lose against UConn, whatever the championship game is, whether it's NC State or South Carolina State, go Gamecocks. I guess.
No idea.
Yeah, that's correct.
Whatever that championship game is going to have, not nearly the viewership as if Iowa was in the championship game.
But this goes back to the bandwagon of it all.
It's
We
a
can bandwagon with the best of them.
It's a bandwagon,
And I dare say we might be the best at bandwagoning.
I think it's a whole country bandwagoning, quite frankly.
But that doesn't make any fucking sense.
She's the
Yeah.
Taylor Swift of college basketball. Okay.
I don't know if it's the right
And
time.
that might be the right thing to say, Cole.
right time where I'm like literally. I do think that social
Does it
media.
come down to that she's white?
I definitely think that there could be some, with a lot of folks, great white hopeness about it.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
I think that's wrong.
and I think that's wrong. Where's the clapping?
Hold on 1 second.
No, try it again.
I know I got to do it really right here.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if I have clapping. I just have laughing.
Oh, you got rid of your clapping? Oh, this is
sorry.
Oh, you fucked up the bit, Bobby.
Sorry. Anyway, going
Okay,
back to race relations.
Yeah. So you think that? Go ahead and say that you think that.
I think it's
people,
because she's white. Yeah, I agree. Because the LSU coach was talking about how it was good versus evil, and this is again.
But also, she's a fucking whack job.
Yeah,
She's a whack
both
job.
can be true. Both can be true.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
Both can be true.
I think there was a double standard with Angel Reese where people hated on her. Not to say she didn't act like an asshole, but Caitlin
Both
Clark.
true.
Caitlin Clark does the same shit
She
every
does the
fucking
same
game.
shit. One's acceptable, one's not.
Well, I
this
think-
is what I'm saying.
you know, a little bit of what's his name from the Celtics,
Larry Bird.
Larry
Larry
Bird.
Bird. He talks trash. He's phenomenal.
Most
trash
good
talk.
bass players do.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan was the king of it.
Most
Yeah.
good bass players. Hold on, I got that. Hold on.
I caught you a delicious bass.
All right, I have that one for that reason only.
That's the reason I said it the way I did.
Thank
Okay.
you. All right, good.
Yeah,
Solid joke.
Yeah, so
I think it has a lot
Kevin
to do with that
Garnett,
she's white.
Michael Jordan.
Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
But
It's part of the game.
is she too like? Hey, she flops too hard. She flops way too much for.
That is what
And for my opinion, that's
that is what basketball's become.
That's
though.
what basketball's becoming. And I don't like that. I want you to play the game, not play the refs. Okay, that's me.
I'm really proud of you.
I've heard you quote that a million times.
Yeah,
actually.
a million times. So I hate that. Oh yeah, she does.
I just feel like this is a level of that we're all ignoring it, but it's clearly what's going on.
Black Twitter is not ignoring it. Just FYI.
Well, I think it's a thing where it's
Wait,
like
what?
Yeah, Black Twitter. You guys aren't, following people on Black
that's
Twitter.
why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
It's because I think the only reason why it's getting the national attention that it is, like, think about it even in this situation, okay? And God, we're talking way too much about women's college basketball. I fucking hate this.
No, we're talking about race relations.
Now we're talking about race relations,
inside the
which I-
context of
yeah.
sports in America.
How many commercials have you seen Angel Reese on this year? Versus how many Caitlin Clark commercials have you seen? And it's not regional. Trust me, it's not regional.
No.
Have you seen in the last week
Was
with
she
Caitlin Clark?
First things first. I don't watch broadcast television. There's that.
But you've still seen Caitlin Clark in a commercial.
Like in passing at the bar, maybe.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not.
Dude,
I'm not.
You're such a liar.
No. What television?
How
like,
about this, Cole?
All day, every day.
All day,
every
every day.
day.
Okay, cool.
Sure.
So somewhere in
Yeah.
between is the truth.
Yeah.
So Facebook anywhere, like she's
Yeah, you just talked about
Everywhere.
how like there's
oh
so
no,
many posts.
no, but that's people sharing.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Angel Reese has not been in one fucking NIL commercial. She has not been in one State Farm commercial, and she is.
I think I saw a Powerade commercial.
She might have been in a Powerade commercial.
I think she was in a Powerade commercial.
yes.
Possibly.
But I thought you didn't watch network television.
I think
I thought you
possibly-
didn't watch broadcast television.
that's only because Gatorade played Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Come
it's
on.
just we're in the the overhyped situation, and
It's
an interesting thing because I think I hate to bring skin color and race into it.
No,
but I think it's
that
a
is-
legit argument.
I think that's a legitimate question, and I do question, because after last year's championship game, the word ghetto getting thrown around quite a bit, and trashy and classless being assigned to Angel Reese, and
But-
I certainly did not.
And to that point, though,
Yeah.
that was the first time that a lot of people had ever watched
Yes.
that game.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
the first time, there were so many people that had never watched it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I've been watching it for years and like I saw the writing on the wall, yada, yada, yada. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's the first time that a lot of people on a national audience
Yeah.
tuned in to watch it.
Yeah.
That's where that opinion comes from because it's the first time that they saw it and they're going to latch onto it like.
No, for me, it wasn't like that. It was more the following around that bit of taunting.
Yeah.
That was the problem, not
And both can be true.
that. Oh, she did the no look face or what? You can't see me.
The John
whatever
Cena.
dumb fucking thing John Cena does.
Yes.
Who is still
now
a
we get
horrible
back into
actor.
wrestling. This is what we
Still a horrible actor. Oh my god.
we won't get into
Yeah,
Ricky
God,
Snicki.
don't drag me into that Ricky
I might want to get
hole.
into Ricky Snicki, actually.
I'd rather talk about Ricky Snicki than
might.
fucking women's college basketball. I do think it's interesting. I would be questioning whether or not if Caitlin Clark was an African American, what that would mean as far as this level of hype. And that would mean that she would have to be like the exact same. Would she be seen as classless? Would she be seen as ghetto by doing the John Cena stuff and the excessive pointing and celebrating and arguing with the refs and overflopping, all of which Caitlin Clark does? Would that be seen as a detriment?
A detriment?
Detrimental.
I thought you said detriment, like the
Dutch-
Dutch. I thought we were
Dutch-
getting into Dutch
The
talk. again.
detriment,
Which
God,
I would
love that fucking. That's a rap album if I've ever heard one. Like
Favorite Dutch artist. You can't
Dutchmental.
touch this. Right?
Yeah, so I'd be curious about
Old
that.
Dutchie.
I for 100%, you're 1,000% valid. Caitlin Clark's getting jerked off too much.
Speaking of race and 100%,
Yeah.
apparently, and I'm going to do a hard pivot here.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, and we're going to stick along the same.
Okay, all right.
So the Anti-Defamation League
'Kay.
came out with their words that are I forget the exact verbiage, but basically 100%
Yeah.
means you're a white supremacist because it means 100% white people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just so you know,
Just so I know.
and it's a little bit.
yeah.
If you say 100%, especially in this context,
no, this is
you're really defending the wrong side.
no. That's they latch on that kind of dumb shit, and it's
so
just
dumb.
it's so dumb. And then like everybody rolls their eyes and says, "Well, clearly this whole movement that you're trying to do about bringing equity and equality into society is not worth anything because you're fucking morons because you're latching on 100%."
Yeah. And again, that's where I always go back to. It's not about equity or being inclusive
Yeah.
or everyone getting along. They love to keep us apart. They love to keep us apart. And this is, I know we did a perfect segue to get off of Caitlin Clark
God damn it.
and to do this, but it is one of those things. It's like, well, this is a situation where it's I think a legit argument to
Yeah.
be like, if this person was a different skin color, would you react the same way
Sure.
in this microcosm that we're
Yeah.
in specifically, but
Yeah.
as a nation as a whole? Like, it's clearly happening. Like, if the TV ratings are what they are, that means people are watching it for
Yeah.
some reason and some reason alone. And
Yeah.
maybe not some reason alone, but they're watching it for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it about this thing that's making people react differently than
Sure.
any other time? Is it because she's shooting far away? Well, why weren't those people watching Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors?
Right. So you just hate bandwagoners.
Oh, all day long.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's that. At the end of the day, that not that this could be a podcast,
No.
but at the end of the day, when dollars come to donuts, you just hate bandwagoners.
I hate bandwagoners.
And
Do you
that's-
like bandwagoners?
No, I don't fault bandwagoners for existing. How about that?
Well, I don't fault because this is a good segue. Okay, good job. All right, we did it. All right, we got off it. We're gonna go on to the next thing because
You're gonna bring her
I'm
up
gonna
in
tie. I'm gonna tie a bow.
five.
I'm gonna tie a bow.
Okay, Tybo.
Because I know I talked a lot of shit. Okay, I feel it's good
Yeah.
again because of my lack of a void of sports. Like I don't have any more time to
Yeah.
watch sports.
You're all chock full.
I'm all sported out. Okay, I got my sports.
Yeah.
The fact that she's gotten other people or the powers that be have gotten people to watch this sport that weren't watching any sports, kudos. You
Yeah.
did. Someone deserves a raise in the marketing
Expanding the
department.
tent.
Cool. Good job. Now, bandwagoners, fuck right off. Like, I cannot
You can't stand it.
a bandwagoner.
Yeah.
And as being a Braves fan for as long as I have been,
Yeah.
I know this is speaking a completely different language to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Braves were on Turner Broadcasting System.
Yes. TBS. Yeah.
They were on TBS.
The Superstation.
Yeah. And I lived in Florida.
Florida.
Florida. We didn't call it that back then.
Oh, you didn't?
But when I lived in beautiful Jacksonville, Florida, I know
Gorgeous.
I threw shade at Jacksonville earlier.
Gorgeous.
The Braves and the Twins. I was born in Rochester, Minnesota.
Yes.
My last four social is blah blah blah. So I was a Twins fan
Yes.
as a small child. Okay.
Kirby Puckett.
Named two of my cats after Kirby Puckett. Kirby and Puckett. Okay. Loved them. So the Braves and the Twins are playing in the 1991 World Series, I believe is what it was.
Yeah.
And my dad takes me to a bar at I'm 6 years old.
Okay.
You can do this in Florida all the time.
Yeah,
You can take
yeah,
6-year-olds to
yeah.
bars at 10 o'clock at night. Whatever.
Sure.
And so we watch the game, and we're the only two Twins fans there. And I'm talking shit, I'm mouthing off and everything like that. And everyone's razzing. We're all having a good time,
Except for
And-
one guy.
Except for one guy. Who
One guy
really,
who's drank a little bit too much and is actually ready to fight a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
They do that in Florida
All the time.
all the time.
All the time.
Tell me different.
And long story short, so I basically get peer pressured as a kid to be a Braves fan because
Oh.
all your friends are Braves fans.
Braves fans.
So after the series, it's hard to be.
Because the Marlins didn't exist yet?
The Marlins didn't exist. The Rays didn't exist. Nothing. And it's still, to an extent, it's still Braves country down there.
Still
it's-
Braves country?
Yeah, absolutely. It's still Braves country. Well, basically, not bullied into being a Braves fan, but
Sure. Peer pressure. You're around
Peer
all
pressure.
of your peers, and this is
Right.
literal peer pressure because it's
yeah,
all the children around you are rooting for the Braves.
exactly.
And
you're basically the lone person
Yeah.
rooting for the
rooting
other
for the
team.
that's literally 1,000 miles away that
Yeah.
no one gives a shit about.
There's no ships in the night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything. So when we move up to Iowa, and all of a sudden we're in the midst of Cubs country and everything like that.
Yeah.
And not a lot of Twins fans even in Iowa.
No.
Because they hit some tough times in the mid '90s.
Yeah.
And then the Twins being on TBS, I felt it was
The Braves being on TBS,
I'm
yeah.
sorry,
Yes.
the Braves being on TBS. I was like, I feel a sense of connection to the team.
Sure,
I enjoy
sure.
watching the team. It makes me feel I never wanted to move up to Iowa because I didn't know winter existed in Florida. So when we moved up to Iowa, and
Real
then
rude awakening.
I don't know if you know this. Jacksonville doesn't get winter the way that Iowa does.
Yeah.
So,
It just gets kind of cold,
yeah.
like 50s.
And for months, Oh, in Iowa, it
Yeah.
gets cold for
Cold
months.
for quite a bit.
Yeah.
How about this weather?
But anyway, I got accused of being a bandwagon Braves fan because the Braves then, from that point on,
They went on.
They
They
from
went
that
on.
'91 team, they went on and they had a run. So I was accused of being a bandwagoner, and it was like, no. I'm here through the thick and the thin of it
Yeah.
and everything. And the Braves, luckily for a long time, did not have any really bad years. I think they won 15 consecutive division titles, and only one World Series in that
'Kay.
span of time. But anyway, being accused of being a bandwagoner, didn't like it.
You didn't like that?
No, because I feel you guys are both Chiefs
Yeah.
fans. There's
Yeah.
and I would dare say,
And I've been here for years.
right, but in ways you are a fair weather Chiefs fan until
No,
Patrick Mahomes.
I'm just not gonna like. Hey, I'm not a big sports guy.
Yeah.
It does not dictate my life.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. That being said, it's like I'd check the scores and be like, oh, well, that sucks. Oh, Chiefs are dog shit again. Okay, all right, because they have had a very rough couple of decades.
But that's what I say. Like fair weather, I don't think is nearly as egregious. I'm not saying you're a bandwagoner. I'm saying you're fair weather.
Yeah, no, it's good for them. Yeah, and even like now, it's not like I'm going rah rah rah.
You're not
Go
going to get a
Chiefs.
tattoo.
I'm not going to get a Chiefs logo tattoo. Maybe something with Andy Reid. Maybe on my nipple. I don't know. Something like maybe Andy Reid's nose is my nipple. Maybe.
Okay. Wow.
I think there's something there.
Okay.
Possibly.
All right.
But no. That being said, the whole idea of like bandwagoning it's fine. I mean, like if your team like shits the bed and wears socks, and all of a sudden like somebody goes on a hot streak, I don't care.
That's not bandwagoning.
Yeah, I don't
That's
care.
not bandwagoning.
Up to the point where I don't know, people are buying jerseys and saying how much they've loved this team forever.
Or like yelling at the television in public when they haven't watched any version of the sport ever.
Well, that depends. I mean, no,
Because that's where my frustration comes. Is that it's the people that are literally they don't know what the hell is going on. I think this goes into the element of why football is so popular to people, because football can just be on and happen.
Yeah.
And you don't really need to know exactly what made the play work. I mean,
Right.
there's so many inside baseball things that happen in a football play, let alone a scoring play.
Yeah, that works.
All the person needs to do that's wooing at the bar, drinking whatever the hell they are, they just need to see the ball be caught or
Get
go across the
advanced.
end zone. Like, oh my God. Or like, oh, why didn't that work? Blah, blah. And when you get a bar full of those people that are cheering for a singular entity of one person or like basically one thing versus understanding what the actual sport is, it's so annoying.
I think we're in a little bit of a difficult situation being from Iowa, and the fact that Caitlin Clark is from
Should
Iowa.
we come up with a code name for her?
Cupcake Kelly. I don't know.
Old Cupcakes.
Old Cupcakes.
There you go.
She went to a school in Des Moines, so so she's a homegrown asset, much like how we root for anybody from Iowa. Ashton Kutcher, we've all been rooting for him since
Yeah, everyone's rooting for Keegan Murray.
Keegan Murray.
Yeah, I would say I'm a Kings fan at this point, honestly. Going back to the NBA question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that makes sense, though. That would be fair. Like, and also, you're not in bandwagon territory because there's no way the NBA is going to let the Kings win the goddamn championship.
Oh, the Sacramento Kings? They
No.
ain't going nowhere?
Pretty sure they made that very clear in like 2005, 6 or something like that.
They got a solid team this year.
Yeah,
They
there's
made that.
no
Hold on.
way.
The powers that be have decided that the Sacramento Kings will never win
Yeah.
the championship.
I'm sorry if that Vlade Divac's team and white chocolate and
Chris Webber,
Chris
Mike
Webber,
Bibby,
Mike Bibby.
Bobby Jackson, Doug
Look
Christie,
at you guys knowing all these names.
Peja
Dude.
Stojakovic. That team was stacked.
Yeah, and they were way better than the Lakers. And people that know the NBA, people that are tangentially following the NBA, know that series was completely rigged.
Completely rigged?
I'll show you a YouTube video later on. Don't worry.
I'm curious. I mean, because that does sound like trouble.
One team was better, but the other one had Shaq and Kobe.
They won the division that the Lakers was in like 3 straight years and
couldn't seal the deal against Kobe.
Oh, I mean, they were doing it.
Yeah.
That's why the refs had to step in and be like, that you can't look at Shaq like that. That's a foul. That'd be a technical if you say something about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's widely regarded as one of the worst officiating games of any sport. Period.
Interesting.
Yeah, that and the 2009 NFC Championship game with the Vikings and the Saints, but we don't need to talk about
2009.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The Bounty Gate game is what it's called. That's why Sean Payton was suspended for a year. That's why they made that
Kevin James movie.
Kevin James movie. about Sean Payton being what was it called again, Cole?
Sean, who the hell is Sean Payton?
Oh, this is the problem with you
I
in
know,
sports.
I know.
So Kevin James was in a movie about
He knows who Kevin James
I know.
is. Let's
Unfortunately,
explain.
I know.
New Orleans Saints coach that got suspended for a
The head
year,
coach.
and then he went on to coach his kids' Pee Wee football team, and they made a
Kevin
movie out of it.
James made a Pee Wee football movie.
Okay, I'm going to be a better storyteller. Sean Payton
Yeah.
was the head coach of the New Orleans Saints.
Okay.
In 2009, they played in the NFC Championship game versus the
Yes.
Minnesota Vikings.
Yes.
Brett Favre was the quarterback of the
Yes.
Minnesota Vikings. The defensive coordinator, Dennis Allen, and Sean Payton, allegedly, quote unquote, put a bounty on
Like
players.
targeting.
And they said, if you knock this player out, you will receive this amount of
Yes.
dollars in
Yeah.
a reward.
Yeah.
And they proceeded
recall
to
this,
beat
though.
the living shit out of the
Yeah.
Vikings illegally.
Yeah.
And the refs didn't call
Any of
anything. I mean, it was ridiculous. There's a wonderful,
Is
I
there 30
believe,
for 30 on this?
10 for, there's a 10 for 12. It's a 10 for 12 minute video on YouTube.
Yeah.
But they go through and they,
Yeah.
it's a ton of missed calls.
Sure.
So the result of this is that Sean Payton and Dennis Allen, I believe Dennis Allen was suspended.
When's Kevin James getting into this?
I'm getting to it. Okay.
Okay.
You know who Kevin James is. You don't
Yeah.
know who Sean Payton
He
is.
was on King of Queens. It was great.
So anyway, Sean Payton was suspended for a year
Okay.
from the NFL, and that's when he coached his son's Pee Wee football team
In real life?
in real life.
Okay.
And then Kevin James and I'm assuming the people at Adam Sandler's group decided,
Yes.
Happy Madison.
Happy Madison, decided to capitalize on that and make it a heartwarming tale instead of the, not heartwarming tale. That
What's
it
the name of this piece of shit?
Home Team on Netflix, of course. And
I've never heard of this ever.
and Sandler's wife played Sean Payton's wife in the movie. Rob Schneider's in it, of course.
Yeah, of course. Okay, you're not looking at Kevin James's filmography, are you?
No, I'm just looking at Home Team.
Okay, can you do me a favor? All right, let's play the game.
What game?
How many Kevin James movies can old Coley list off?
Oh, it's a variation of the game, and
Oh, I gotta turn it off now. I
Yeah,
didn't,
turn
I
it
didn't
off.
look. I didn't look. I didn't look.
Okay.
We'll discount Home Team.
Home teams off.
he's got Paul Blart 1 and 2.
Oh God! What? It's Cole's game.
We're not going to give him a free space of Paul
We already got
Blart.
the full. We already got the full free space of home team. Oh, Bobby.
Cole, honest to God, really?
What?
You didn't know that Paul Blart?
No, I was gonna.
Oh,
I would definitely was gonna list
yeah.
those too.
I
So-
feel
No,
we had,
out-
to make
out
it
of
a
the gate.
true competition.
Well, that's why we got it. We haven't even put our bids in yet, son. It's like you've forgotten how to play the game.
This is first off. Hey, pot, call the kettle black. All right. The game is how many actors can you name within a Kevin James
Yeah.
movie? That's the game.
No,
Not how many Kevin James movies can you name.
I think
No.
that's within the same
You
realm.
tell me how many actors are like how many people can you name from Paul Blart Mall Cop 1 or 2?
Never seen them, so that'd be
That's
rough.
shocking. That's more
Unfortunately, I
shocking.
only watched Paul Blart 2, and it was a giant ad for Wyndham Resorts. It was a huge piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I don't remember anybody else in that movie.
Thing is like you name one Kevin James movie, you're going to get like 3 sequels.
I mean, Grown Up 1 and 2.
No,
Hey, he
God.
ruining the game.
We got to put our bids in. Jeez, now we got to hedge them down. I'm gonna go and say 5 now since we got.
I'll take the under.
Okay.
Got your grown-ups are off the board. Paul Blart's off the board. Home
That's
team's
a
off the
lot
board.
Home
of
team's off.
movies off the board.
right.
Welcome to the Jungle is MMA movie.
Okay. That's
I
one.
now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
Nope, that's 2.
Sorry, it just seemed appropriate.
I'm going to be struggling real hard now after all of those crap movies. I have no idea what he did besides King of Queens.
Oh my God, it's so juicy.
Okay.
What other? Hubie Halloween.
Was he? That was a Netflix Netflix Halloween movie with Adam Sandler.
Good luck, shithead.
I'm gonna have to fact check. Hubie Halloween.
You took away all the.
I know. Well, I feel
Low-hanging
that's
fruit.
only fair.
That's 3. We'll have to fact check. Hubie Halloween.
What is? All right,
All right,
fine.
just
I guess that's
go
on my.
first things first. Go to Kevin James's IMDb page.
Shut the fuck up.
All right, cool. I know you got it in you.
I am really struggling after these. All
Okay.
these Adam Sandler movies.
Okay.
Yeah, I really don't know.
Ah, jeez. Pixels?
So what was your first one that you said?
Pixels, yes. Yeah. I was trying to think of that.
Well, Nathan said that.
Welcome to the Jungle? Actually, I don't think that's right. I
don't think that's right.
Frankie Goes Boom.
Nope, that's not
Isn't
right
there
either.
Frankie like Boom
What
Goes
was
Frankie?
his MMA movie?
It was like
Here Comes the Boom.
Here Comes the Boom.
Oh.
Is there like a Frankie Goes Boom movie or something stupid like it? Oh no, Here Comes the Boom. Maybe that's like a stupid line in the movie, which I only watched the trailer for. Yeah. What was the second one that you said there? I now pronounce
Chuck and
Chuck
Larry.
and Larry.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
No, Hubie Halloween. I want to say that was like 2019, maybe 2020, somewhere around there. Whenever after
Hubie Halloween is correct.
on the list.
Is correct. Yes.
Hitch is the other one. And
He
that's
is.
pretty much all I got.
He's
Yeah.
in Hitch. Yes. There's some Adam Sandler movies that you can get.
The Ridiculous Six.
was he?
No, not the Ridiculous Six.
Yeah, I don't know. Wasn't there some stupid one where he had a zoo, or was it
Oh,
a zookeeper?
zoo-
It was just
zookeeper,
a
yeah.
zookeeper, right?
Yeah, that's South Park. Right? This is a turd in a microwave, and this is a picture for Kevin James' movie, The Zookeeper. Tell me the difference.
No, yeah.
Hotel Transylvania would have been one.
Who is he in Hotel
Who
Trans?
gives a shit?
I do.
This is
'cause
the
I've
dumbest
watched two of
fucking
them.
thing.
This is the dumbest fucking thing.
Oh,
Listing of Kevin James movies,
yeah.
or
It's not like
arguing
I-
about women's college basketball for 45
The
minutes.
the totality of it is the dumbest thing. We're gonna have to be here for another hour and a half.
He has not been in that many movies, actually.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
No.
He was in Hubie Halloween. I got that one right.
You sure did. Good
Here
job,
comes
Cole.
the boom.
Here comes the boom. Welcome to the Jungle was the alternate title for The Rundown, starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Sean William Scott. That was a
Yeah,
good movie.
I mean, Paul Blart and Grown Ups, that pretty much
yeah, that
crushed
just
me.
that's
Sure, dude.
And I was gonna say 8. That was my initial bid. Was gonna say it was 8, including Paul Blart and
Couldn't believe I didn't remember Pixels, though.
he was the president in Pixels.
I guess I'll give it to you.
No, it's fine. I don't think this was not a clean game.
It wasn't a clean
It
game.
wasn't a
no,
clean
that
game.
very much is true. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
This is
Do you have a favorite Kevin James movie?
no.
No.
I really like Hitch a lot. It's pretty good.
Of course you would like Hitch.
Will
Will Smith is the reverse Caitlin Clark. If Will Smith was white, I don't think America would love him as much as
he'd have to be a lot goofier, wouldn't he?
he would be.
He'd have to be a lot
Right?
goofier.
I don't think that's that crazy to say
No, I don't think so. I agree with that.
because there's the other. There's the
There's
other
something
side.
about a white man with too much confidence.
Exactly. Right? Is that what it is?
That
Are we really like? I know it's a joke.
That could.
I know it's a joke. But is that what it boils
Because
down
he's
to?
just a fucking prick, and
Yeah.
you know, if there's a white dude walking around with that much swagger, that guy's a
He's a
piece of shit.
douchebag, yeah.
yeah, you know he is.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think you hit the nail on the head.
That's 1,000% true. For some reason, I just rewatched his bullshit con artist movie Focus, starring Margot Robbie, the other day, and it's not very good. It's not very good at all. But the thing is, I love conman movies, so
You've
that's
said that before.
Yeah, no, so
I think that's 3 straight podcasts that you
yeah,
said you
no,
like.
I like a
con-man
good
movies.
con man movie. So it's like, I remember watching this and thinking it wasn't very good. So I'm gonna revisit this to make sure that was correct.
Gotcha.
And I think that's the best way to watch movies is to have an idea, kind of forget about what happened in a movie, try to remember. You have a general feeling. It's like a dream. I think I kind of know that I don't like this movie, and I want to remember why. And so I'm glad I did, because now I'll probably never watch that movie ever again.
Until a certain amount of time goes by, and then you'll have the same thought.
No, I think it's seared in the old memory now.
All right,
It
all
really is.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Have
coming
you
up-
ever had a movie that's changed over time when you watched it the first time? You're like, oh, that's a piece of dog shit. And then you watched it again. You're like, you know what? It's actually not that bad. Or vice versa.
No. I mean, there's plenty of movies that I feel like I look back and I say, that's not as good. I can't give you a firm example.
Well, that's the whole point of the question.
I know of a movie that I'm like, oh, no, I really like that. That was good, right? and then like rewatching it, it's complete dog shit.
There's movies I'm scared to rewatch.
The Phantom starring Billy Zane, maybe. Like,
Which direction did that go?
I think that went down because I think I watched it. I'm like, I was just like in the right mood where it's like, oh, this is a fun little adventure movie. It's silly and kind of corny, and you got Billy Zane running around in a skin tight purple suit, and it's fun. This is fun, like supposed to be 1920s stuff. It's fine. And then rewatching, be like, ooh, this is not good at all.
There's
whatsoever.
movies I'm scared to rewatch.
Example.
Garden State would be an example of a movie I'm scared to rewatch. I think that'd be. It could be problems. It could be problematic. You know.
Oh, problematic. That's
well,
problematic.
as far as just like it's not as good. It's maybe more slow paced than it seemed at the time.
Sure.
I don't know. I haven't watched it. I'm just scared. Some things just feel good in memory, and you're just like, oh, I would like to have that.
You just want to hold on to that.
Yeah.
Garden State's not as good as an adult as it was.
That's what my fear is, and that's why I haven't watched it.
There's a great video.
I started showing my wife. God damn it! What movie was that? Fuck! This is gonna be a great story because I can't remember the damn movie.
There's a great video of like a girl doing the best manic pixie dream girl, like just every manic pixie dream girl ever, and it's just like laugh. You know, life's like.
What is this?
And they're because, you know, what's her name in Garden State? She's a little bit manic pixie dream girl, right?
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, just that whole genre feels good like as a 20-year-old or a 15-year-old, and does not. You can just
Clerks was a recent movie I've started rewatching.
Yeah. You can just see the
And I was
crazy
like-
as an adult.
I gotta shut this off.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as good as when I was 18 years old and thought it was like high level. You know, you're truly a filmmaker if you like this movie.
Right. Rewatching Mallrats with you a couple of months ago, I was just like, yeah, I'm glad I haven't watched this movie since since college.
And I feel like Mallrats was like more. It was more in line with what I remember.
Yeah.
Like obviously there's the flaws of it,
Yeah.
but whatever. Like it wasn't like I'm gonna shut it off. I didn't have the desire to shut it off.
Yeah, right. No, for me, it's just like you can see the seams of just the low budget, like run and gun nature, and it's just like this is not a very well polished movie, and it's a little bit too silly in a lot of spots. That just doesn't make sense. But
Yeah. But also that was one of those you're in the Kevin Smith, camp of filmmakers and stuff like that. Like, well, you're gonna like this is Kevin Smith is a legitimate filmmaker and everything. And
I'm happy that Kevin Smith had a career. I really am. I think that like the idea of someone with no money and just getting leverage to the tits and going out and making something that's good. I'm glad that there's people are doing that, and good for them. All right, I'm happy that.
I mean, Cop Out's a fantastic movie. So,
oh my God, that it was a Kevin Smith.
yes, it
Why
was.
did Kevin Smith make Cop Out?
because he had a heart attack and he needed money.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Like
And Bruce Willis was dying.
just attached to it. Like I would love to know the backstory of how the fuck that got made because.
Money.
It got made for money. I get that. Well, also, I don't know if I actually watched that one. I don't think I watched that one.
There's no real need to.
Oh, there's not. I'm
I
not
don't
going to
think
go.
Like I didn't watch
Is
it, but
Cop Out available to stream anywhere for free right now? Just let me know, Cole.
It's not good.
I'm sure it's not.
again for free. Sure, yeah.
I might dare to say that, like I love Mallrats, I love Clerks, but I think Dogmas is like the only really, really, really good movie.
When was the last time you watched it?
It's been a long time.
Yeah, that was another one where I liked it because my wife had not seen it or had not seen it in a long time, and we watched it within the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a little slower than you remember as a kid, as you remember as a teenager.
I guess maybe Chasing Amy.
Chasing Amy, it's been a long time since I've watched, but like Dogma, I was like, okay, Dogma's great. Dogma's fantastic. There's some really good moments. You want to talk about being a little too zany though at times as well. It's there.
Oh, that's Kevin James for you.
And also a little heavy-handed in some way, shape, or form. Like anyway,
What about Zach and Miri Make a Porno?
horrible?
That's a Kevin Smith movie?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Oh no.
It's not Judd Apatow.
Oh, I thought that was. Oh, that was. Jesus.
Such a bad movie. It's a
man.
really bad movie.
What's
I liked Clerks 2 more than I should have. I will say that.
yeah.
And I haven't seen Clerks 2. And I actually, hearing him talk about the progression of the Clerks movies and stuff, like, I'm interested. I think that Clerks 2 actually might be better than I ever thought it was going to be, because I'm like, why do we need this? But hearing him talk about it.
I would say it's probably, and I loved Jay and Silent Bob, the first movie,
Strike Back.
when I was 18.
Yeah.
Tried to rewatch it recently. It's not very good.
Yeah.
I think Clerks 2 is probably better than that movie.
Yeah. But it's like, to your point though, this is 18 to 25-year-olds, like,
Right. That's
this
in their
is,
wheelhouse.
This is when you're watching in your wheelhouse. That's where like Garden State, I think, falls into that category of like, yeah, this is when you feel sad for the first time, really, whatever
I
that
was
means.
really into Scrubs and Zach Braff in general. So
Yeah, and it had a lot of the elements going for it.
Yeah.
It was really much. It was the cupcakes of that time, really. Everyone was, jerking off Garden State.
There was a lot of jerking off of Garden State.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zach Braff's got a new movie coming out, right, Cole? Right? You follow him religiously since you love.
You just always have that tab
since you
open.
love Scrubs so much. You follow his every move of his career.
Scrubs is a TV show that's really hard to show. Like, I tried to show my wife
Yeah.
Scrubs, and it's like, this doesn't work unless you watched it the first time, I think.
he did A Good Person with Morgan Freeman and what is the girl's name? Who he was dating for a long time.
Natalie Portman.
Florence Pugh.
Florence Hugh?
Yeah, or however you say her last name.
Yeah, the one that she was in Oppenheimer?
She was in Oppenheimer.
Ooh.
She was in
So,
Dune 2.
Yeah.
And
Plays Lopez for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah.
Olivia Wilde's movie, whatever
Yeah.
the hell that was called.
Don't Look Up.
And then Midsommar, right? She
And
was
Midsommar,
in Midsommar.
Midsommar.
Did you like Midsommar?
I haven't seen that movie. No, I've heard it's a rough watch.
It's a real like
Rough in a good way.
like
as far
I
as,
love
disturbing.
like it's hey, get this. It's an A24 movie, so I liked it. No, so Florence Pugh or whatever how you pronounce her name. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching Oppenheimer on the plane on the way back from Japan, right?
Uh-huh.
And I remember
You don't shut up about Japan now.
And I'm like, okay, I'm putting on Oppenheimer. And I'm like, as it starts, it's like, hey, this movie's been reformatted to fit your screen, my little shitty screen in the back of the seat in front of me.
Old Chrissy Nolan.
Chris Nolan. This is
He
I'm
was like, this is how I want people to watch
This is the optimal viewing experience,
Yeah.
I'm sure. Like, and it was fine. I got sucked in. I was put into a world of illusion and magic through that shitty screen on the back of the headrest in front of me. But also, there's like, some scenes have been edited for content. Because I'm like, oh, yeah, isn't there like...
It's a plain edit.
I'm like, yeah, there's like supposed to be like some heavy like sex scene, right? Where like people are naked and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what they're going to do with that. Are they just going to cut that whole scene?
I'll allow it.
No, they like put this weird black like dress over top of her, like just kind of weirdly shittily superimposed over top of grinding Florence Pugh. Yeah, it was like, oh, this is very weird.
Because of the implication.
I've never experienced this like weird.
Was it a
edit.
shitty, like, superimposed dress?
Well, get this: the high fidelity of the shitty screen in front of me wasn't like super duper high def, so I wasn't able to really, go through, check the pixels.
Gotcha.
But I was like, oh, this is very weird.
Airplane edits.
Yeah, growing up as a child, I remember.
Is that how you typically grow up?
Yeah,
As a
growing
child?
up as a child, when I'd put in like I'd put in a movie, I'd put in a VHS that's been reformatted for 4:3. Letterboxing. No one would like letterboxing back in the day.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, and I remember like every time I'd see that thing, like this movie's been reformatted to fit your television, and I thought that meant like to be fit for your television. Like they were cutting out gore and stuff. I remember like putting on a Jason Goes to Hell, and I'm like, what did they cut out? And it's like, what did they cut out? That they left all this, and what did they? I was so confused. I'm like,
Taking it very literally.
I was taking it very literally, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't know if I could handle like an uncensored version of this. I'm so happy that this has been saved for my delicate ears.
So you're just a young, dumb kid.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think all children are dumb in a way.
Of
right?
course, that's why we're scared to watch those movies again, because I don't want to, like, literally see it in front of me. Like, oh, I was just dumb back then.
Yeah. I can't think of another movie that I'm like, this really went downhill after I watched it the second time.
Three Ninjas.
I haven't watched Three Ninjas, and I don't. Ninjas.
Whoa.
Ninjas.
Whoa.
Haven't,
Close there, buddy.
Yeah, listen.
I will say the original Turtles movie, watching it as an adult for the first time in 15 years, I'm like, this is really fucking good. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, the original Turtles movie is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Secret of the Ooze, not so much.
Oh, that's still really good too.
Yeah, I've watched both of those movies while editing. Like, I just threw them on and stuff like that. But, like, no, those, well, yeah, those are solid. Those are solid.
Hold up
As
very
far
well.
as kids movies go, kids, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Like,
What's your opinion on the Super Shredder?
oh, Kevin Nash is awesome. I love Kevin Nash.
That was Kevin Nash.
I guess I have an example. Mighty Ducks 3 was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Watching it after 15 years.
Yeah.
Mighty Ducks 2 was worse than I thought it was going to be. But still,
Shut your
you
mouth.
know,
Shut your
really good.
fucking mouth, Cole.
Really good.
Tell me about your opinion on the Mighty Ducks television show.
The cartoon with the actual ducks.
No, the
That was a team I bandwagoned on. I did
yeah, bandwagon on it just because it's cool.
Because of Mighty Ducks.
Because of Mighty Ducks, man.
Yeah.
The
I
Emilio
owned a-
Estevez reboot
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
I did not watch that.
Oh, I thought you did.
No.
Because that sounds like you.
It does.
I thought about it.
Because at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, this could be a podcast.
Emilio.
Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. We really appreciate it. If you guys could do me a favor and just share this with somebody you love and let them know that we talk about college women's basketball almost exclusively.
From now on.
From now on.
That's all we're doing.
Yeah, that's it.
This is our life now.
Yeah.
And like and subscribe.